We have a packed studio today. I am here with 3 different transfers. We definitely amped it up from 1 to 3, okay? I have Sam, Adriana, and Lukas here with me today. Go ahead and say hi, guys.
Hi.
Howdy. What's up?
They're a little nervous. It's okay. It's their first time. I was nervous my first time too. But I'm so happy to have you guys. So what I like to start out the podcast with, if you haven't listened, is what is your favorite song or what would be your walk-up song? Whoever wants to go first, jump right in.
That's a hard question.
It's a hard question.
I listen to a lot of weird music.
Okay.
Probably be some like EDM song.
Name one though.
I don't know. Depends on the vibe. I just listen to random playlists I find on Spotify, you know.
That's fair. What is EDM for people who don't know?
Electro dance music.
That sounds really fun. What about you guys?
I literally don't know.
You don't have any favorite song? What's a song that you listen to way too much that your friends are probably like, oh my gosh, can you turn this off already?
I don't know. Do I listen to a lot of the same music? I listen to a lot of One Direction.
Okay,
Yeah.
now we're talking. What is your favorite One Direction song though?
Live While We're Young.
That's like so cliche. I'm sorry.
It's just it's a go-to.
Yeah, no,
That's fair.
that's
Such a
fair. That's fair.
classic.
It's fair. It's fair. That's
Yeah.
fair. What about you?
Mine would probably be anything country.
Okay.
Anything. Morgan Wallen or Luke Combs. I can't really pick a favorite though. I love all of their music.
Ella's was Morgan Wallen, so that tracks for transfers, I suppose. We talked a little bit about Country Fest. She talked about her cute boots, and I'm like,
I
that's
want to go.
You've never been?
No.
Me either.
And I live like 20 minutes away from it.
Oh, really? Jeez. Well, let's move on. What brought you, Lukas, to Mount Union?
Mostly it's just closer to home. I'm from Salem. I went to YSU for a year and just felt disconnected from all my friends and everyone back home.
So do you have friends that go to Mount Union at all?
Yeah, pretty much all my friends went here from high school.
Oh, cool. Okay. And what about you, Adriana?
So me and Sam were kind of in the same boat. We both went to Notre Dame College and kind of were forced to transfer somewhere because it closed. But coming here, the tour, I absolutely fell in love with the campus and knew this is where I wanted to go, and feeling so appreciated by staff and just students here, even though I was just touring. And then I told her to take a tour.
Yeah, originally I was looking somewhere else, kind of in the same realm of wanting to stay close to home because I'm not too far from the area. I actually grew up here in Alliance. So I was looking around and I saw one school and I toured and I liked it, and I was all ready to accept the offer, and Adriana had said just come on, just take a tour. And I did, and as soon as I was done with the tour, I looked at my mom and I was like, this is where I'm going.
Oh, that's so sweet. So do you guys all live on campus?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I commute, but it's
commute.
a 5-minute drive, so.
Oh, okay.
Oh, that's
I
nice.
also commute, so that's a little different. Did you guys live on campus at your other school?
I did.
I did not.
Okay, so what's it been like to, live on campus versus living at home?
It's definitely different because it's more so me doing a lot of the things like cooking and cleaning. But I was also trying to become an RA at Notre Dame before we knew that it was closing. So I was kind of looking forward to living on my own, but definitely a good experience.
Yeah, so whenever I live at home now, obviously, with my family, and whenever I moved to Nashville, it was really cool, being able to just play house on your own. I mean, really, that's how it feels. It feels like you're playing house in your little dorm room. And do you live in a townhouse, or do you just live in a dorm?
In the apartments.
Okay, I don't really know housing on campus, I'm not gonna lie,
You're
but
good.
I'm sure it's great. I'm sure it's lovely. So what year are all of you?
I'm a 5th-year senior.
Okay.
I'm a third year.
I'm a sophomore.
Okay. And what has your academic journey been so far? How has Mount Union's academics, I mean, especially for you, Sam, how has Mount Union's academics compared to your last school?
Not to talk down on my last school, but I feel like I'm getting a lot more here. A lot more experience, a lot more help. I feel that Mount's kind of higher up in the rankings considering I'm in the education program. So I feel like I'm getting so much more out of my program here than I was at Notre Dame.
Okay. And what about you?
Obviously, same as Sam. I didn't take as many education classes. I got my prerequisites more out the way, but I did take a couple at Notre Dame. But, like, coming here, I see how much, like, the staff really cares for us and really wants to give us as much out of our education as we can. And, again, not to talk down on Notre Dame, but, like, staff there was kind of just there to get the paycheck in a way, not really there to give us all the information we need going into the field of education.
So you guys are both education majors.
Yes.
And Lucas, what is your major?
My major is art, but I'm a minor in education.
Oh my gosh.
So-
I did not. That was not planned. Okay. That's kind of crazy. So how did you guys go about picking your majors?
I'll start.
Yeah.
So I always knew that I wanted to be an education major. Like, from a little girl, I would, like, play school at my house after school or with my cousins or friends, whatever. Going into, like, high school is when I really, like, broke it down into, like, going into special ed. And then I'm also following in the footsteps of my grandma, who I sadly didn't get to meet because she passed before I was born, but she's a pioneer in the field of special education. So
Wow, that's awesome. I love
Yeah.
to hear that. So I'm sure, have you seen the TikToks of, like, you know, the trendy new teachers and, like, they're wearing all the cute outfits? I'm sure, like, are you ready for that? Are you excited for that
Yes.
aspect or, like, just the teaching part? Because I would be excited to, like, dress all cute.
I feel like it's a little bit of both because sometimes it's a lot to dress up every day
Oh.
and, like, be with the kids, you know.
Girl,
I mean,
look at me.
But I'm definitely, like, excited to have, like, my own students, have my own classroom. So
Yeah, kind of like you have your own apartment now.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's exciting. What about you, Sam?
Mine's kind of a little bit the same. My aunt founded and, like, kind of built from the ground up a school over in Canton for children with special needs.
That's amazing.
But before that, she worked at a different school for students with special needs, and she would take me there with her, like, over summers. I was, like, 5. So I've grown up, like, around helping students with those, you know, unique differences and helping them, like, find their way and moving forward with those difficulties. And from there, I mean, I've just always wanted to work in special education. So from that point on, I spent every summer at her school and just helping out where I can and being with the kids. And now I work there part-time, and that's my goal in the future, is to end up there when I'm, you know, got a degree and everything.
That's so sweet. Both of you are doing so awesome, following in your family's footsteps. I really admire that. I really do. I'm a first gen, so I didn't really have, like, you know, that to look. I mean, my parents are amazing. Don't get me wrong. They do amazing things, but I didn't have something insane like that. That's just, I'm speechless, clearly. So is the education that you get for, like, special education versus, you know, just teaching, is that different?
In a way, yeah.
Okay.
There's different, like, levels, I guess you would say. The program here that I am in is for mild to moderate, so it's more of a, like, what would you say, like a public school or setting to work with
Less severe
kids on the spectrum.
case.
Okay.
Or, like, if they have IEPs, like, who are in a general education setting, to, like, work with them there. I kind of want to gear more towards kids with, I don't want to say more intense, but that's the only word I can think of right now.
More severe cases.
Yeah, like a more severe case, because that's kind of what I do right now, more, like, behavioral problems and, like, helping them learn to, like, control it and how to, like, move forward from that. So
Yeah. Okay. All right, and we're going to switch gears. Lucas, so do you want to be an art teacher?
Yeah, ideally at the high school level. I've always been an artsy person, and I wanted to try to find a career in arts that would let me, like, make an impact on people. And my high school art teacher had a big impact on me, so it just kind of fell into place well for me to choose that career path, and I enjoy it a lot.
Can you talk a little bit about that relationship you had with your teacher?
Well, I had him every year for art class from 7th through 12th grade, and it was just one of the more chill classes you could go in and not be so stressed, just do your own thing, and one of the more, like, relatable teachers to talk to, and not just like, oh, I might have to study to not fail my math test, I could just go and be like, this kid's annoying me, help me fix it while I
Right.
like paint or whatever.
I absolutely resonate with that. So when I was in high school, I was like, I played sports, but I also did all of the arts and stuff. So I was kind of in the middle, had friends on both sides, but I mean, let's be real, there's a divide, right? And so I remember one day I found myself sitting by myself at lunch because none of those friends were there for me. And I went into my art class, and I sat there and I was just crying to my art teacher, eating my lunch. So art teachers are amazing, and I'm sure you're going to do great in that field. You seem like a really supportive person.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
So, whenever you guys were transferring here, what was the biggest, hurdle or mind, stress that you had to overcome whenever you came to Mount?
Feeling like a freshman all over again.
Yeah.
That was a big thing for me. It was starting, completely over, new school, new place, don't know anybody, don't know what the atmosphere is really going to be like. After being so set and comfortable in that routine I've had over the past 4 years at my old school.
Yeah, absolutely. That's so it's so real for everyone. It really does feel like starting over, but I feel like you guys mentioned, the faculty and staff here make it so easy to feel so oriented so quickly. And so I'm glad that hopefully you were able to experience that.
Yes.
To just orient really quickly. I mean, that first week, let me tell you, that first week feels like everything, the world is ending.
It was a dream.
was so
There was no way
overwhelming.
that was real. My first week here was not real.
Adriana, walk me through your first week here.
I would say probably the same thing, just going into education classes and everybody else knowing each other and you knowing literally no one.
Yeah.
Maybe if Sam was in my class, that's the only person I knew. And probably also just starting living on my own for the first time, I guess was a little scary just because I had to get into that routine, but it wasn't something overwhelming and deadly.
No, but it's a lot at once. It's a lot at
Yeah.
once for someone to meet all new people is really, really scary.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, people are judgy. We know that. People are judgy. And so coming into a whole new atmosphere when people know people and you're the outsider, it is really hard. It's very hard. But luckily for me, in my first semester, I had a lot of media classes, and so because I'm a communications minor, so whenever I was taking my media classes, everyone knew each other. The professors knew all the students, and that I didn't expect, because when people talk about college, it's like, oh, your professors won't even know who you are. No, the professors know every single person in this room, actually. And so that was a little scary, being like, oh, well, these professors don't know me. So one of the things that I did honestly, anytime I go to a new class, I always make sure that at the end of the first class, I introduce myself to my professors. I say, hey, this is who I am. This is why I'm here. This is what I'm here to accomplish. And I hope that you can help me through this. Or honestly, whenever I took my first accounting class with Professor Armeni, I walked up to her on the first day and I was like, I hate math. I don't want to be here, but I have to take it. So hopefully you can understand that and help me get through it. And she was obviously, because I'm a very blunt person. And so she took that so well. She's like, thank you so much for telling me that you hate this class. She was like, I'm so excited to hopefully change that for you. And she really did. She was the most passionate math teacher you can imagine. And imagine being passionate about math, because I
love math, so
Okay, well, you and her would get along. Have you met her?
I have not.
You should go meet her. She's a doll. But anyway, with all that being said, Lukas, did you have to overcome anything when you transferred?
I mean, yeah, I would say I had a lot easier of a time than most of the transfers I've talked to, just because I transferred in as a second-year student, and I knew a lot of people on campus already. So my biggest problem was, finding the buildings. 'Cause
Yeah.
This campus is set up so different compared to, how YSU was. And I had no idea where anything was.
How
So,
long do you think it took you
Like,
to figure it out?
maybe, a week and a half, I'd say. For the classes I need to know where they are.
Yeah.
Some of the random stuff I still don't know where it is.
Right.
Yeah.
I had a map. I had a map out in front of me. I printed it off. I circled all my classes, and I still do this. I'm going to show you guys. I write down all my classes and where they are and what times, and I still use this.
Same.
It's literally April 9th in the semester, and I'm still using this because I don't remember what time my classes are.
Yeah, I do that sometimes. Don't worry.
It's
too.
terrible. It's terrible.
Monday.
I know. I just don't know.
I like
That
second
sounds
guess
dumb.
myself what time it starts.
all the time.
Yeah. Well, when I have it right in front of me, what's the point in like remembering? So I feel like I lucked out. My first semester, all of my classes were like on this side of campus, and so I knew, okay, I'm going to this building, I'm going to this building, and we're good to go. And so I think that's definitely not something everyone talks about, is figuring out where you have to go on campus. That can definitely add to the stress whenever you're first coming. So, I mean, and whenever you tour, don't get me wrong, it's great. It's awesome. It's lovely. But you're not going to remember where you're at.
No.
Okay. They told me some seal on the ground is like, you're not supposed to step on it
Bad
or
luck
something.
to step on it. I was standing right in the middle of it when they told me that.
Where is that?
Any of them.
Does anyone know?
It's all
Is
the
it
seals. You fail your
Bracy?
finals if you step on
I don't
them.
even know what
At least
building
that's the
that
one
is.
That's the biggest one, yeah.
The science building or something like that.
Oh.
Yeah.
Right by Kick.
Yeah.
See, I remember that exists. Where
I
at? No idea.
I only remember because I have A class in there.
Yeah.
Oh, well, there you go.
Yeah, I was
that's
told
a
not to
good
step on
excuse.
any of the seals because you'll fail all your finals. So
Oh.
I didn't fail
Well.
any last semester, so
Yeah, I'm the type of person to like step on it and be like,
Oops.
what you gonna do about it? Oh my gosh. So how have you guys gotten involved on campus? How have you made friends? How has that been for you?
I'll go
Anyone.
first. Well, first off, joining TSO, because knowing that there was like other people in similar boats, not necessarily that their schools closed, but who also like transferred out and came here. So like there was, that group of people who kind of knew what we were going through as well. And then Adriana here convinced me to give it a shot and try out sorority life.
Oh, okay.
So I joined a sorority, and I mean, it's been great. I love it. Having all of them by me too. Some of them being transfers. I think there's very few. But also a lot of them being the same major. So I also have like other people in my major. Even if I don't have classes with them, I know I can ask them for help and go to them when I need anything.
So were you in a sorority before, or you just told her to try it out?
No, I was not, because Notre Dame didn't have any Greek life.
Okay.
So, but for some reason, I've just always wanted to be in a sorority.
So did you guys join together? Or are you
We went
not-
through the process together.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So you
Not
didn't stick
same
around.
Sorority. Well, so I am in a sorority.
Oh.
We're just in different
Yeah, we're just in
ones.
different ones.
Okay, gotcha. Well, I mean, that's good, though, because since you guys came here together, you've been able to meet other friends, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Good. So what are some of the events that you've gone to with your sorority? Or events that you've
Goodness,
put
we've
on,
done
I
a lot.
guess. What's your favorite?
My favorite. I really enjoyed doing. I'm an AXO, so we focus a lot on domestic violence and helping them, like the people or the women in the domestic violence shelter. So we did like a fundraiser. We did cookies and cocoa. We ended up doing that with ATO, and they did a toy drive. So people just came over to like their house, and we did just pay and get like cookies and cocoa, and all like the proceeds and stuff go to the domestic violence shelter. So I really enjoyed that one. It was fun, and it was around Christmas time, so it was just like great to be around everybody.
That's really nice. Look at Sam doing some amazing things. You're inspirational. All right, Adriana, what about you? Adriana.
No, you're good. I would also say like joining a sorority, joining TSO, just like really getting involved on campus and having like something to fall back on, meeting transfer students that like we've all been through the same process. We all know what's going on. And then joining a sorority, like shout out to my 80 Pie sisters. Love you, but they've just been there for me and like always reach out like, hey, you need anything, or just like going through life, going through, college together.
Yeah.
So,
Who has been the most impactful person that you guys have met during your time here so far?
staff wise or
Outside of staff. Because obviously we know Christian's amazing, but
I had a separate staff member ready.
you can say his staff. We can share the love.
Missy Ruggles.
Who's she?
She is one of our professors in the ed department. She's like my saving grace. Anything I need at any time of the day, I could call her, I could text her. I know that she will answer. She is like, she's like our like education mom.
Yeah.
I absolutely just love her, and she cares for all of her students like they're her own kids. I currently have her for my preclinical, which I'm stressing going through, but she explains it and helps you go through it in a way that makes it more stress-free.
Yeah.
So that woman has been my absolute saving grace since I got here.
Aw, you should make sure she knows that.
Oh, I do.
Good.
I tell her I love her every single day.
No, that's good. I'm sure she really appreciates that. What about you?
I would also say Missy Ruggles or Dr. Askren Edgehouse. If you don't know who that
Nope.
is, she's also in the education department. She's my advisor, but like before she was even my advisor, she was so helpful with any questions I had, guiding me through whatever I needed to do to transfer in stuff or just like that transition of Notre Dame to Mount Union. And it was just like, wow, it's so easy, so whatever. And just, you can go to her for anything, and amazing jobs that she does. Such a
Yeah.
great professor or just like advisor.
That's
So,
really nice.
yeah.
I'm glad you had that experience. Well, Lucas, let's jump back to you. Student involvement, campus involvement, and the most impactful person.
Student involvement. I haven't gotten as involved as I'd like to be just because I've had both my semesters at 20 credit hours and very busy.
Yeah.
But I'm just involved in TSO, and I had some work in the student art installation over in Gizi, so that was cool. Got to meet some other people.
What did that entail?
It was just, they had like a room in the art building where you could all put in work to submit it, and they would review and choose what got into the art show and what didn't. And then I had 2 drawings and a sculpture get in, and then there was a big exposition, so free cookies and snacks, and go look at art and talk about it. Just meet other artists, people local, and some people came from like out of the city and other places just to come look around. So that was cool.
What's your favorite art form?
Art form?
Is that the right way to ask that
Yeah.
question? Okay.
Probably my favorite recently to make is like abstract sculpture, just because it's fun and I can be messy.
That's awesome.
But it's not always my favorite to look at, because it's hard to convey like meaning and message and like pick up what the like creator was trying to push through it, you know? Especially when it's more abstract. But it is very fun to make.
You have to send us some pictures of your art. I want to share it.
I'm very intrigued now.
Yeah,
For
I want to
sure.
see it. That's awesome.
Yeah, I'm in sculpture and advanced drawing right now, so I'll have to send some pictures.
Yes, definitely.
For sure.
I'm so excited.
Send it in the group chat.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. And we could share it on UMU transfers.
Oh boy.
So look at our transfers doing awesome things. So who's been your most impactful person, whether it's student or faculty?
Staff-wise, it's probably both Christian and Margot Miller, 'cause she's the head of the art department and my other advisor. And they're probably both so sick of seeing me at this point, because I'm in one of their offices literally every day, just like asking the most random questions or just there to chat. And they're great. They help with everything and all my millions of random questions.
Yeah, I'm sure my professors or faculty don't know it yet, but for this student celebration stuff that for graduation, I had to submit to walk or whatever there, and you had to submit a professor or 2 or whatever staff faculty that have made an impact on your UMU story. And so of course I wrote about Christian and how he impacted me, more on like the real life side. Like I can talk to him about my family struggles. I can talk to him about how stressed out I am that I have things going on at home right now, and so he's really been that rock on a personal level. But then on the other side, professionally, I have Dr. Kadlicek from Sport Business. So he's been there, jumps at the opportunity to give his students opportunities. Like whenever I first came here, I was a freshman/junior. It was a very complicated situation because I got my associate's degree in high school. And then I did a semester at another college. And so it was just super complicated. I didn't know what I was. And so whenever I had to go up for presentations, you had to say what grade you were. And I'm like, I'm a freshman, but also a junior, but also a sophomore. I don't really know. Anyway, let's get on with this. And so now I can finally say, senior, I'll just have an extra semester. But Dr. K was always really on top of helping me make sure I was on track to graduate and have something lined up at the end. So like I'm the type of person who, if there's not something planned out, I'm gonna freak. And like I just needed to know that there was I'm reaching a goal, you know what I mean? And I'm not just here for kicks and giggles or whatever. And so after my first semester, I emailed Dr. K and I'm like, so everyone has a spring internship or summer internship and I don't, and I'm like literally going to be a senior next year. I'm freaking out. Where can I go? I mean, and again, it's like May now, you know, people are applying for internships in December. And so, which I wasn't even here yet, but he immediately made a phone call, called someone, got me an internship. I mean, didn't get me the internship, but got me the internship, you know, set up a phone call with me and someone from the Lake Erie Crushers. And I had a 4-minute phone call and this guy was hiring me for the summer. And then that led to a freelance position of me doing just graphics and presentations for them. And so all of that stemmed from Dr. K just being so willing to reach out to people in the industry. So I think that just speaks volumes for how willing the staff are here. I mean, and I know that any one of my professors would have done the same. So what opportunities have you guys had to get involved on campus? Or not to get involved, but like outside opportunities. Does that make sense? Does like the education department offer any trips? Or like I went to CBI, so I went to Seattle for the media department, and then for sport business, I went to Boston just this spring. Have you guys had the chance to do anything similar?
I don't know.
The question confused me.
I know, like...
Just like conferences. Maybe I'm making it too complicated.
We had like I guess you could call it kind of like a conference, but it was more of just like a development day for the students here.
This is what I mean. Yeah,
We had one here.
Professional development. Sorry,
they pulled,
rambled.
You didn't go to that. I don't think you had to, or they don't think that included you. They did. They pulled the preclinical and clinical students in, and they had like principals and staff members from like schools all over that came, and we did mock interviews with them.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and like gave them like our resumes and went through all of it. I talked to I think 3 different schools. It's very nerve-wracking. I'm freaking out because I've never gone through like a big like interview process like that. So, but that was really cool. It was a really good experience, especially since I'll be doing student teaching next semester. So this was like a big thing.
Yeah.
And then for our like clinical students who are done after this semester, and then it's time for them to actually really go through that process.
So how many semesters do you have left?
I have 1 semester after this, but I'm doing the same thing that you're doing. I'm walking, but I'll be a post-bac.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
So they do the professional development day also for anyone who took 200 level education courses, but instead of it being interviews and that, it's more like seminars. They all like just talk at you about different things.
Well, that's what a conference is, really.
Yeah.
I mean, you just have the chance to ask questions at the end. Yeah. So that was how CBI was. We just went to a really fun city for it.
Yeah.
So it was the same. Just people, I mean, but it's that, but it was amazing. Like, people even in the sport business field were talking to us, broadcasters and stuff, since it was media. And a lot of, like, telecasters and people that were on the news, because we are a radio station, so that's what the conference was focused towards whenever we went to Seattle. But which we don't do as much news as we do like content creation. So there were some things that I took away and some things I was like, well, that's cool, but not really applicable to me. And then for the National Sports Forum, that was actually more of an internship. And so like we were working the event and also got to sit in on some of the conferences. So have you guys done any internships? I don't know is that like a thing for your majors? Because that's like huge for sport business internships.
I mean, we have field experience, but I wouldn't really consider it an internship.
Yeah.
It's more like at first you just go in the classroom and you observe, and then you teach a couple lessons, and then eventually you're just teaching, and you have to be there and you're not paid, but you learn, so that is your payment.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're just playing teacher at this point.
Yeah.
Right.
This semester I have 150 field hours that I need to complete with, well, also because I'm a double major, so I added on extra. And then I have 10 like general education lessons and then 5 intervention lessons.
That sounds like a lot. Is that a lot? That sounds like
At first I freaked out because I was like, this is a lot. There's no way I'm ever going to get any of this done. But as you go and as you get to know your kids and you're understanding the content that they are being taught in the classroom, it becomes easier to just kind of create a lesson based off of things you know that they'll be able to do. So then you can give like an effective lesson.
Okay. Well, it was great having you all today. Thank you so much. Well, if any of you guys want to chat with these people, make sure you come to our transfer bash that's coming up.
Yeah.
I think Sam, will you be there?
Probably.
Okay, so everyone's going to be there. That means you should be there too. And then we're going to do Transfers Rule the School on 3. Ready? 1, 2, 3.
Transfers rule the school.